Welcome to the Global Exclusive Podcast. Today, of our rotating guests of hosts, well, not guests, people members of hosts. So we have Muspel, Baros, and Dream. And I actually have a sponsor this week, guys.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Our sponsor this week is OnlyFans. Because we're now on OnlyFans. Because there's clearly content that's not what we're thinking on OnlyFans. We're there too.
I thought they were banning not safe for work content, though. That means we can't be on there.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
I'm sorry, but besides, I already have an OnlyFans. It's onlyfans.com/.
Okay, and now we're going to talk about the units.
What units, Muspel? What units are we talking about?
No. I want to start with Umaro, because Umaro is clearly the most interesting unit of this banner.
Yeah, actually, I just want to say, my life has never been the same until Muspel just, showed me this really sus picture of Umaro from FF6 that I never reacted to when I played the game myself. And he's fucking right. Dude looks like a psychopath.
I did not send you any picture. What are you talking about?
Yeah, okay. Sure, man.
What are you guys doing outside of regular?
We're sending each other dojins of Umaro from Final Fantasy VI.
I hate it here.
Okay, now listen. Whoa, hold on. So we need actually the picture of Umaro that Muspel sent me. We need that as the episode banner image on YouTube, so the people know what we're talking about.
No.
I seriously did not send you a picture. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, you did. You linked me, or you didn't send me, but you linked it in chat. You linked me the picture of Umaro from the game's menu, like from Final Fantasy VI menu, and he looks fucking.
I have. When was this? Was this like a year ago?
Because it was super long ago.
Okay.
No, it was really long ago, but yeah.
That would explain why I don't remember it.
The unit, guys?
Please.
Guys?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Fine.
We're talking about this picture that only Baros remembers.
No, I actually want to talk about the unit because I love its active abilities, man. It's my favorite. His skill set is so unique.
Okay. Let's talk about his active abilities. All right, we're done.
Just like in the actual game, Umaro has no active abilities because he's perma berserked. And that's pretty cool. Just like in the source material.
Yeah, I mean, he also has. I think his auto attack is a chain, and when 30% of the time it's a fucking ice chain. Other times it's a non-LA chain, so that's reliable.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
But
so
in GL,
I have to admit, I never had Umaro in my party. Like, I never used him in FF6, so this was all just news to me.
You never actually even put him in your party? Okay, because I never used Umaro too, because I didn't want the unit that was just berserked, but.
Yeah, I didn't want him in my party. That's exactly what it is. I didn't use him in any fights. So
okay.
I like using Sabin and Shadow, Terra. That's fine. But Umaro was a no for me.
I think I mostly used Edgar, and I don't remember who the other ones were. I just remember Edgar because he could AoE without using MP.
Use Rem because she's a fucking cheat code.
Yeah, I'm thinking if you're not doing a full girl party in Final Fantasy VI, I don't know. What are you doing with your life? Because you should be running Celeste, Terra, Realm, and Edgar.
I think I had a lock as well, just so I could steal stuff from enemies. I don't remember who the other members were. Maybe Terra for healing or something.
I wonder how many people actually use Umaro. That's what I sometimes think about.
Probably not many, but who knows?
He was also pretty secret, so it's not like you got him on Okay, anyway, the unit Umaro. What do you mean? Well, he was a bonus unit. You didn't get him through the normal story.
It was very easy to miss him because you never encountered him until he was recruitable, and you had to I forget how you did it even, but you had to pick something instead of getting an item.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It wasn't at all clear that was what would happen.
So Umaro in this game is also useless, except for one specific use that Muspel doesn't want to talk about. So I guess we won't.
You can use him to just auto your way through story stages because he's perma berserked and his basic attack is an AoE, so you don't press anything and he'll kill everything.
He has AoE auto attacks. That's good for arena.
Fuck you, Shadow. Don't tell people that. They'll start using it.
Yeah, they will. I mean, because this is probably our only source of a unit or a reliable source of a 5-unit arena team that's berserked, because we don't have endless Revenger Dagger, whatever the fuck that shit is called.
Another thing I want to mention is you actually, like, normally he won't ever use his LB because he's berserked. You can dispel the berserk and then he can use it. His LB is still not great though, so
85% break, like maybe Umaro can be your go-to breaker. Maybe that's
your defense only breaker.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Okay. We're trying too hard on Umaro. Okay, fuck this unit.
But he has a cool sprite. He has a cool sprite, and he's very true to the source material, which makes him cool. I would like him, and I actually have
his
him.
TM and STMR are worth talking about.
I have just noticed something with the whole oh, never mind. I was gonna say, like, his only LB buff is autocast at the same time as the berserk, so dispelling that would get rid of it. But no, the LB buff's undispellable, so they did actually.
Yeah, exactly. So he does have that.
Yeah. So his TM is a materia that makes normal attacks hit twice. It also gives confuse immunity, which is not super relevant, but whatever.
So does this stack with the scarf?
No, but the advantage is that the scarf has like no stats on it, and it's in an accessory slot. So this lets you use that while still using like Tifa's STMR or whatever for higher stats. Wait.
You're gearing units for stats in Arena?
Well, no, this would not be for Arena. This would be for a unit like, I don't know, Zidane, who wanted to be able to basic attack more often without needing to spend an accessory slot or something with no attack.
Okay. Sure.
Like, it's still not great, but this is the kind of thing where it's an item that's at least unique, and I don't look at this and say, why are they making these boring TMs? I look at it and say, well, at least it's something, even if it's not great.
No, it is unique and it is interesting. I agree. And I guess like his TM is the same, or his STM is the same thing, right?
Yeah.
No.
Well, yeah, because it's one of the few items that has death immunity on it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
So this is the first non-limited item that you can get more than one copy of that gives death immunity. The other ones are Genji's Shield and Safety Bit, and then there was also Sayaka's STMR. But Sayaka was limited.
Pretty hard to get lots of unless you're paping.
Yeah. It also gives some fire and ice resist, and it has a passive that lets you counter stuff with normal attacks, which is, there's not a lot of sources of countering with normal attacks, and since units nowadays are having things that replace their basic attacks with other stuff, that can be mildly useful in some cases. So there's like a few there's maybe a few uses for this.
Safety Bit plus an upgrade of Black Belt.
Yeah, the concern is that if you put this on your tank, keep in mind that tanks get hit like a lot of times per turn, so they will counter a lot of times, and that can slow things down a lot.
This has no limit, so this is giving me like Charlotte PTSD.
Yeah. It wouldn't be as bad as Charlotte, because these skills generally have like faster cast animations, from what I've seen.
Yeah, sure, but still.
2017 called. They want their STMR back. I don't think this is a 2021 STMR, but it's pretty cool, I guess.
I mean, it's unique. I agree with what Muspel said. This is not the boring, it's 40% attack with fists and 20% resistance to ice.
I'll show you 40% attack with my fist.
Also, because it gives death immunity and attack, it means that like if they ever make a boss with AoE death, you can gear your damage dealers for death immunity without needing to tank their damage as much.
Yeah. That's nice. That's nice. All right, let's move the fuck on. This is enough.
It's been almost fucking 10 minutes and we're still on.
Yeah.
He's not that interesting.
Don't pull for him. Please, God, do not pull for him.
If you get 10 copies while pulling for Celeste, please put him in your arena party so I want to see everyone else suffer. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so the next unit is Mog of Narshe Mog. Narshe?
Wait, Narshe? In my mind, Narshe. Always Narshe. Yeah.
But then why is there an E at the end? Like, it doesn't change the pronunciation.
Because English is fucking weird.
Yeah, I'm going with Shadow on this one, although I'm not a native speaker, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, I've always said Narshe in my mind. Like, Dream. Okay. Dream, you're the tiebreaker, Dream.
Narshe sounds better. Yeah. Narshe sounds like how Sinzar would pronounce it.
What about Narshe?
Narshe, yeah, no accent on it, though. All right, actually, now, we need to ask Cinzar to do a video that features Mog, because he did say Mog has some semi-interesting uses. So
I think he said that Mog was useful for a single DV boss ever. I don't know which boss that was.
yeah.
Because, I mean, what the main thing we're talking about is he has 2 cooldowns that are an AoE imbue and a 25% Imperial field effect on the enemy side only. So,
yeah, for wind and ice.
Ice and wind, yeah.
He also has AoE ailment immunity buffs and an insect killer buff.
And that's about it.
Yeah. What was Mog?
It's still going to be very hard. For DV, it's still going to be very hard for him to find, be worth the slot.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, 25. I mean, it's additive, so 25% won't do that much, given that you're losing an entire slot to imbue. And
well, if it's an insect, I'm not sure, how many insect killer buffs are there really?
If you're getting the killers as well, it's a little better, but it's only 75% still.
I seem to recall that there aren't any big insect killer buffs though.
I think
Uraisha, I think
doesn't. I'm not sure how big hers is.
No, I don't think she has.
I remember her whole thinking the Hess people have it because they hate insects for some weird ass reason.
Yeah,
okay, let's see.
Laswell's got it.
Laswell has 150%. Uraisha has 100%.
Okay.
Yuri has 100%, and then Luis has 50. Yang has 75.
And listen, this is still reaching for it, okay? I'm just saying, you're not going to
be
putting
this I think if you're getting
team.
the benefit out of the Imperil and the ailment immunity and the imbue and the killer buff, maybe you use him. But if you take one of those things out, it gets a lot more questionable.
It could be a budget option, I guess, if anyone cares about those for DV.
Yeah. His TM may as well not exist. STMR is maybe relevant for Sky in some situations, I guess.
When the killers apply, maybe.
Yeah, we did talk about this on the Newsday pod. It might be it when the killers apply, but it's so much lower attack that, I don't know.
Yeah.
His TMR reminds me of the time when we were doing the whole Bahamut thing years ago, and we were looking for this sort of materia to reduce encounters because it was a
but we already have had enough stuff to get to the reduce encounter cat.
Yeah.
So
it is a bigger XP boost than what is it? 9's TM
action, yeah.
Yeah, so
by a whole 10%.
Yeah, slightly better. So if you're somehow very short on cactuars and you're trying to level up by actually running stages, then
that's the best joke so far.
Yeah,
being short on cactuars.
There's not much to say about this unit or his TM or STMR. So
this takes me back though. This is a nice throwback. Do you know what unit was the last unit I leveled in the leveling stages? That was actually OG Lightning's 7-star when she just got her 7-star when we got our first batch. That was the last unit I ever ran through EXP stages actually. So yeah, that was a while.
Some of the raids or whatever actually give a fair amount of XP, so you can use those sometimes.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, I was just thinking back to the actual chamber or whatever it's called.
Yeah, but we've spent too long talking about this unit, so
yeah, let's.
And we won't spend nearly as enough time talking about Celeste. I guarantee it. But Celeste is a cool looking unit. Her sprite's amazing.
It looks really good. We said it on the Newsday, but her base form is actually a mono artwork, so that's not what she looks like in the game. And I'm a bit ashamed that it was Cinzar that had to remind me of this because I had completely forgotten. But she looks good. She looks good. Unfortunately, I don't like this. I've said this before on the pod. I don't like this trend of units with 3 abilities. I'm not saying she's a bad unit. I'm just saying I don't like.
No, I agree, but it's just. Yeah.
In this case, I think it works a little better because in a lot of cases when tanks had more skills, it was basically just taking the things that are on Celes' cover and splitting them onto different skills. So her cover has mitigation, magic mitigation, stat buff, and cover, all in one skill. So, they could have split that apart, but that honestly would have been kind of annoying. So I'm okay with that part. I get what you're saying about not liking units that have these few skills, but
yeah,
she has decent utility. She's a solid tank. I guess I'm not really sure what they could add to her without making her overpowered or without it just being completely irrelevant.
Yeah, to me, it's more about flavor, to be honest, like being reminded of the original game in a bigger way than just Sealing Blade, which is the only ability that kind of reminds you of what she was doing in the original game. And I don't know, I
In
just
fairness, I think for a unit like Celes, it's hard to remind you of what she was doing in Final Fantasy VI
wait,
because
hold on,
because for the most
Celes?
part, the
Uh-oh.
units in 6 were like they didn't really have clear rules for the most part. Like
I mean, yeah,
Strago and
you built
Realm
them how you
did,
wanted.
but they did. Yeah, most of them like Celes could be a physical attacker. She could be a mage. I guess she could be a tank. I'm not really sure where that came from, aside from her having runic or whatever. But
Yeah, I mean, I know that, yeah, Final Fantasy 6 is a game where you're very free with your units to build them however you want, especially with how espers work and level ups work. But I like, you can just put some flavor in there, make it a bit more fun to use. I don't know, like I like Terra's kit. Terra's kit is still smaller, but she at least has some abilities that make me feel like, okay,
Does this
this is an
seem like a
actual
result
unit.
of the pandemic though? Let's like remember how this whole
No,
three
no, no.
skill shit.
I think this is or the first thing I thought when I heard this about JP. So when Tifa and Sephiroth were first released, and JP people started
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about this, and the first thing I was thinking was like, is this Gumi's way of just going towards where other gachas are? Because in many other gachas, you only have like 3 or 4 abilities per unit, and that's like hard built into the game because units have 3 abilities and that's it, right? And I was wondering if this is kind of their way of making the game more accessible, making it more simple. And I don't know. I just miss the flavor. But I mean,
Well,
Muspel is right. She's a really strong tank, and she has so much on her cover that you literally only need to use her cover, and you're covered.
the only reason I bring that up is because like we all know that SLBs will become a thing, so it feels like a natural extension of that. Well, I guess design decision to skip out on more flavor and other abilities in the kit. So
That's such a shame, such a shame. But okay, we've talked about her base form a bit. What does she do in the
Yeah,
Brave
should
Shift?
we talk about
we should
the
talk about
form that
how
will
she does
actually
as a
be
tank.
used on
We
content?
should talk about how she does as a tank first before we move on to the shift.
Sure, sure. How strong is
She's
she?
she's
And those
squishier
muscle.
than FaZe.
Oh,
By
really?
about 20 to 25%.
I did not expect that. I thought she would be bulky, at least like even bulkier, maybe. Oh, okay, cool.
Uh, she she can get pretty good survival against burst, about the same as FaZe. FaZe is like very slightly tankier if she uses her 80% magic mitigation cooldown and then defends on the next turn, whereas Celes just has to use her LB.
Right.
But you know, that's only a difference of like 1 or 2% between the two of them. The bigger problem I think with her as a tank is that she always provokes when she's using her 75% general mitigation.
Yeah, but FaZe has the exact same problem, right?
Yeah, FaZe has that problem. Beatrix doesn't.
True, true. Okay, so like what you're trying to say is here, like for a tank, you'd use the NVA Beatrix because she brings more to the table anyway and is probably bulkier,
Yeah.
right?
Well, there's some fights where the provoking doesn't matter. There's some, though, where it's really, really bad.
Yeah.
And ideally, you want to have the option. And Celes doesn't really have that.
No.
She's
Listen, I can't take more of Celes, okay? I have to say something. I'm sorry. Like, it's Sinzar with Seals, and now you with Celes. Like, it's Celeste, okay? Celeste.
Celes.
thank you.
This really is a throwback episode.
Does Celeste have? Oh yeah, she does. Okay, I didn't know that. Like she has a lot of magic abilities that could help. Like cure. Like no, I know curing doesn't help, but she does have the Curaga. Dispelga is actually pretty useful for a lot of fights. So
I mean,
that.
come on. Stop stretching it. Dream was right when he said, let's talk about the form you're actually going to be using, which is her Brave Shift.
Which is a shame because I love her base form sprite. But anyways, yes, Brave Shift it is. So Dream, you want to talk about that?
Her
Wait.
shift form is ice.
No, there's one more thing we need to talk about, which is that she has Deficite.
We did that.
Already mention
yeah,
we
I
mentioned
said
that she had it in Final Fantasy VI. I don't think we talked about her having it in this game.
Okay, fine.
Okay, she has it.
It's
Now
also
let's move
kind
on.
of a given for Celes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So, okay.
But
Dream,
yeah,
take us through the Brave Shift,
shift
please.
form, ice nickel, AoE stat buffs, Ice Imbue, Ice Amp, 30% on skill, 45% on LB, Protector and Shelga. You've seen it before, basically.
I mean, she's
but it's in new.
I mean, she's literally Ice Nickel.
Maybe more like Bart's than Nickel, because like Nickel has the Imperil field.
Bart's is split as well. Yeah, I guess Ice Aerith with slightly lower stat.
I mean, she still has a strong LB buff on her LB, 250% and so on. She doesn't have abilities that cost Esper orbs, so there's that, I guess. And given, like, okay, this is one of those side grade ways I've been talking about that I actually enjoy. So this is nice that we have a unit that does something that's as powerful as another unit, but just in a different element, which makes her really relevant maybe for some fights.
I mean, the side grade thing, sure, but like when it's almost like with very slight differences, basically like 8 elemental clones of a certain kit.
No, that's 100% boring. I mean, that's where I would like the flavor, right? Like, I would like some flavor for her instead, but unfortunately, there is none.
How important is her EX3 ability? It's just a killer, so it's like, I guess it's not that important.
It boosts the active killer from 100 to 160. Obviously, like, if you're really min-maxing and you're a DV whale, you probably want it. Otherwise, it's not really important. But yeah, it does also answer an important question, though, which is that the EX3 abilities moving to EX2 is only for premium units, which sucks.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've said this before, and I've said it many times in Discord, but I really dislike the whole EX era that we're moving towards, where you really need high EX, and we're actually going to be talking a bit more about that when we revisit Cal later in the episode. But so I'm not gonna go too much into it. But do we feel done with Celeste, or does Muspel want to do the whole TMR STMR thing?
I also want to point out that
she
has a 2-star EX ability, or an EX2 ability, which fills up her LB at the start of the fight. Which, like, if she doesn't have that, like, she can fill her LB with one of her skills, but it only fills 8 per cast, and it still costs 60, so that could take 2 or 3 turns potentially.
It's handy, but like EX2 auto-filling LB is basically like standard.
It's just something to keep in mind for playing user for Dark Visions, that you need to consider. If you're not getting her to EX2, think about whether or not your kills or your team comp support filling her LB.
Right.
I mean, also her 100% killer cooldown also fills 30 AoE.
That's true,
including herself. So yeah, she can fill it for the first time pretty quickly.
But it is nice. Like the thing is, if you have an EX2, then even for DV, she's going to be a lot more convenient to use, or easier to use, I guess. That's
if I understand Gumi's wording correctly from previous times, they said EX2 3 upgrades would have become EX2, but that's only for premium units, right? So
exactly.
That's why it didn't apply to Celeste.
Or that was a theory behind it. Like people thinking that EX3 abilities would permanently move to EX2, but we now see that's not true, because we're going to talk about the next unit, I guess, that also has an EX3 ability, right? Oh, wait, sorry. I'm skipping the TMR and STMR again, ain't I? Yeah.
Yeah. That was heresy, according to the religion of Muspel. So let's talk about the TMR.
The TM is a killer materia for aquatics. That's all. There's no other stats on it. Actually, I guess that's relevant for Aerith, I guess.
Yeah, true. It's not a bad materia for that.
Actually, it's both of the stats she wants.
And then her STMR is a bit interesting, though. I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Sword with high stats, and then it gives
50% LB damage. Static. Well, it's all.
What I love currently is I'm pretty sure this is like just a bug with the
with
Wedge. But currently the effect on her sword is exclusive to Wedge. Currently.
But what she does have is is the sword exclusive to Celeste, or is the
from what I can tell, it is only equipable by Final Fantasy.
I think it might be.
Yeah, it can only be equipped by Final Fantasy 6 units. Period.
Right. But yeah, because we discussed this in the news day, like these passive stats might actually be good for some units. Like I don't know, maybe even Terra wants this if she can get Evoke from somewhere else. I don't know.
Potentially, I think Terra does still prefer her own STMR just because Evoke is so awful to get otherwise.
Yeah, probably.
Like I don't think she can cap it without 2 copies of her STMR.
And I think the conversation we actually had on Newsday was about the card, which also has 300 flat stats for all the FF6 units on its level 10.
Yeah, and Terra can definitely not afford switching out both a sword and a card. That would like kill her.
Or maybe one?
Well, yeah.
I think with one it was like really close between the two options, but usually her stuff, like her own stuff, would just win. But for a lot of the other,
because I still have my Perma VC ticket. I was thinking of using it on this for Terra.
If we ever get an FF6 hybrid unit, like these would be good items for them. Her STMR and her card.
Right.
But you know, Alan doesn't remember that hybrids exist.
It's good hybrid stuff in general, I guess.
Well,
so
non-Final Fantasy 6 units cannot equip.
Well, yeah, but like the card is the best hybrid base stats, which is still kind of relevant for NVA Alina.
Isn't there another card with similar stats? Maybe I'm misremembering there.
Yeah, there's Savior Soul Lightning's card, which has 80 on attack and magic, I think.
There's a couple that are 80 in attack and magic. I think Reina's is as well. And I think upcoming Kurisame's one.
But listen, you guys are not saying the most important thing about her card, which is that her VC actually has the animation from her opera scene in Final Fantasy VI, and it's really long and beautiful. Okay, so this is why you should be pulling for this unit.
Also, Celeste is arguably the protagonist of FF6. I mean, most people already.
She's fucking not, and I will punch you in the mouth for claiming that once again. Okay.
I think she is.
Nowhere near. Like, okay. Sorry, I'm not getting into this. This episode is long already, but like, we're gonna have this fight elsewhere. So do we want to move on?
Yeah, like 28 minutes, Barrows.
Yeah, but I want to go to sleep, Muspel. Okay.
I mean, yeah. We could mention the unit that didn't make it onto this banner that was in JP.
There was an extra. Oh yeah, Cyan. Yeah,
Cyan.
Yeah, Cyan was also on this banner, but the running theory is that like the client update for SLBs,
and that's probably reard for both Terra's crown upgrades as well as Cyan's SLB stuff. So.
Was FF6 the first crown upgrade batch?
I guess.
I think it might have been.
I mean, I feel like this is one of those things where it's like we're not gonna get it type deals because it's an upgrade of old units because we.
Yeah, it's gonna say like upgrade of old units. How?
I mean, I am afraid. At this point. Right, I'm really afraid because like I really would like Terra to get some upgrades and she becomes actually good or decent at least.
I mean, Terra will still get her Chronicle Sword, which is probably the main thing that upgrades her. I think her crown upgrade is actually almost more supportive.
Well, depends. I mean, it makes her field stronger, and like it depends if you were doing that.
Doesn't she benefit from her field? I thought she
doesn't benefit from her
it was only the LB
fields,
damage one.
But I think
it
also
the Maduin field is upgraded.
It also upgrades her LB though.
Okay.
It goes from 25 to 100% LB, which is actually pretty significant.
That's big, and I mean it's big for your entire party.
Well, where it's like she gets autofill LB. Pretty sure she gets. Yeah, she does get autofill LB.
Yeah, but that's not super relevant because you want to use the Grandis before anyways.
Yeah, and it's just convenience rather than power, really.
I mean, there's a big.
The main thing that actually increases Terra's damage is her Chronicle
and there's a big
Sword.
Convenience to it, though, because if you're actually doing the whole Maduin into her own LB, then it's really nice that it's auto-filled on turn 1, because then you can just do her base LB and then do the Grandis and go into shift and Grandis.
There's one other unit I want to talk about, though, this week. He's an older NV unit, but we're getting him for free with the event. NVA Assassin Shadow. He's pretty good for new players. He's got 80% breaks. He can do 2-stack AoE Mirage. He's got some support chains.
We didn't get any of his EX abilities, right? Shadow?
No. His TM is also pretty good.
I'm not actually sure. I don't think his abilities were even EX upgrades. They just boosted a bunch of his mods.
He did get mod boost reworks, and he also got an EX ability upgrade. He got both.
Right.
But I don't think we got any of that shit.
Which is a shame, but Muspel is right though. Like if you're a new player, you should be getting Shadow, because he's gonna do a lot for you. I mean, there are even some trials where having a 2-stack spammable 2-stack Mirage simplifies the trial to trivial status. So make sure you get Shadow.
You get me.
It's like use.
But there is another unit we also want to talk about that at least got some upgrades, right, guys? And it has nothing to do with Final Fantasy VI. It has to do with the sequel. Final Fantasy 7. It's actually Cloud.
The way that you worded that 7 is
that
a
is the
sequel
strangest
to
take. FF7 is the
That's
sequel
so weird.
to
Don't say it like that. It sounds heretical.
Why? What? What do you mean? It is.
It's
Well,
not.
okay, it's not a sequel. Fine. It's not a direct
direct
sequel.
sequel.
It's a direct sequel. Okay, that's what it actually is. Terra is actually Aerith. No, that'd be terrible because that means she'd die. Anyway, Cloud got actually EX3 and EX2 abilities, and I guess
So
they're sorry.
As did
Right.
Aerith and
But the
Old
only
Aaron,
one.
to clarify.
Yeah, but the only one we actually care about is Cloud
yeah.
because he actually becomes decent, I guess.
Well, Eric got holy. There's that.
Yeah, but it. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but it's
it's
unenhanced holy,
really bad.
which is like a 30% as good as the
But
actual
yeah.
one.
So why is
So,
Cloud
not
better
really.
now?
Basically, the
'Cause he-
main thing he gets is a 35% greatsword imperil, or 30%, 35%, I forget.
35.
35, yeah.
35.
The problem is that I'm not like, what are the good greatswords right now? Are there any? It feels like all of the good chronicle weapons are swords or rods or staves or something.
I mean, there's a DV greatsword.
I mean,
for
he
the
wants
but-
to use
builders
his
at
greatsword,
least.
Chronicle greatsword, right, for the flat stats. So,
But
like,
yeah, and he.
I
mean,
think
you have
the
to
problem
use
is
that.
that
Greatsword.
his own damage is not like that impressive, and he's not really boosting anyone else because there's no one that dual wields two good great swords, and there's not much in the way of double hand units that want to use two-handed great swords. So like, who is he helping that you're bringing him along for? Because like
No,
he can
but-
kind of pull his own weight, sort of, but
He
there's
will-
way better units.
Well, there are, but I've also heard that,
Yes.
there are going to be scenarios where you're not going to be able to use the element locked units at all because their element is they're not going to do any damage. So, and in these cases, like, I mean, Dream, I know you did napkin math like a long time ago, and you said like he would actually read. Yeah, but you said
Napkin
he
is a
would reach
stretch.
decent levels, right? You even compared him a bit to Zidane, maybe even, and
Yeah, I think it'll be alright.
Yeah.
One thing that is slightly limiting though is GL currently has a bug, I guess, where flat attack is
Right.
capped at 2,000, and like with all of his stuff, he should potentially be able to get up to 2,800. That requires either
Right.
the Tifa or Seth card. So 2,300 is more realistic.
So you're kind of losing out on 300 attack right now, or worst case 800 attack in
Yeah.
GL. And I guess like so that's an interesting thing to keep in mind. Like having an EX3 Cloud might actually be useful for the future. I've actually seen some people do cow clears with Cloud as well, just because he
Yup.
is not element locked and actually deals again decent damage if you have all the stuff for him. So
And all the stuff basically means shit like Tifa's STMR and like I don't know what else could.
yeah,
possibly
you
be
need
useful.
one Tifa, one Aerith, or two Tifa. You also need his Chronicle
Sephiroth.
weapon.
2
Sorry?
Aerith could work. 2 Aerith,
Yeah,
2
exactly.
STMR
Yeah.
can
And
work
then
as
you
well.
have
Does
the
Sephiroth's
card.
STMR work on it?
No, that's just for him.
No, Seth's STMR is flat
So
attack.
it's kind of like he does require a lot, but can still be useful in the right scenario, I guess.
Yeah, and he's basically the definition of like if you do give him a massage, a happy ending, and a Rolex watch, he will actually do shit for you. It's just
Yeah.
the age old question is if you have Sephiroth's, I mean, if you have two of Tifa's STMR and like a bunch of Aerith STMR, what the hell are you doing not using those?
Yeah, but the answer is like, yeah, exactly.
It really comes down to the
And,
element
and
lock.
I'm gonna say the actual age-old question is, does Cloud do more damage than Tifa?
I mean, Avalanche Tifa is kind of
Okay,
right there.
but we were not comparing to Avalanche Tifa last time we had this discussion. Yes, that's the Tifa we were comparing.
Yeah.
To. All right, sorry. Let's move on. We have more interesting topics to talk about because Dream, you wanted to talk about Cow, right?
Yeah, I thought that now that like more of us have actually kind of done it. Like last week we were like, oh, we haven't really done it yet. The details are still not super clear, so we kind of glossed over it a bit. But now we actually know what's going on. I think we can go back to it because I spent like 8 hours.
I was
or
gonna
something
say because
yesterday
I
just
saw
slowly
you
working
writing
through
in
it.
the our Cow chat in the Discord, and like it was like so like I was like, wait, he's still doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
just
so
gave a
good.
bit
It
of
was
a
so
live
good.
commentary.
But it was an interesting cow, I guess. So what did you do?
Well, I think just like to go over now that the skill set is like more known for anyone who just wants to like clear up 99. The basic defensive breakdown from Sinzar that I found really helpful is basically you want like a provoker with 150 fire, dark, wind, and earth to get like all of the single target elemental hits, and then like on turn 1 everyone needs either evade, guts, or 200% wind and dark resist. So I had a mix of all that, and it was like always a bit scary seeing like, oh, everyone's getting hit for 6-digit figures and we're living on 1. I think you need like for that turn it needs to be multi-stack Mirage, but it might
how does guts
because work? On every turn you also want. I'm not like because you want. I'm not entirely sure because the skills are a bit weird sometimes, but like you also want either 1-stack AoE Mirage or evade physical cover every turn after 1.
And
I don't know. I was
okay,
using
so you didn't
so
because a lot of people have been
out.
using Behemi, me included, because he actually has BS chains and he's super
He certainly works.
Yeah, and he also has the
As
ailment immunity, so that's nice. But you actually went the Mirage route, so you just
because I think you want you want ailment like AoE ailment immunity on like turns 2, 3, and 4. And then on like 4, 7, and 10, however long you need to extend it, you want to dispel your own thing to get rid of the damage over time. And all that combined basically makes you safe from all the incoming damage.
I want to just share this
counters.
lucky thing that happened. So I haven't had Lena's STMR for ages. And Lena's STMR is a staff that has Dispel Gut, which is nice because then you can equip it on anyone in their base form and be able to do the Dispel Gut trick. But actually, like just the other day, I got my 4th Lena, which made me be able to build this staff and actually use it for the Dispel Gut trick on this trial. So that was very nice. That was a very, very nice and lucky thing for a super old. There was a super old 7-star that I actually got use of. So that was nice. But yeah, Muspel and Shadow, did you guys do the cow battles yet?
I haven't done any of them yet. I've been busy with other stuff, unfortunately. I was just frantically taking notes from what Dream was saying.
I cleared it up to level 99 the other day, so that's a step up from what it was. But other gacha games have been more fun. That's a thing.
Yeah, sure. I get it. But Dream, hey, were you done with talking about mechanics? So there's something else with regards to cow that I just want to brush over.
Yeah,
quickly.
me too. There's another thing too. Yeah, that I want.
We can go back to like some mechanical stuff from the stuff.
Yeah, I was just gonna say something that I said in the Discord too, which is that I didn't really understand that's what Sinzar and others were saying about the EX3 cap and just how harmful it would be, because I didn't experience it myself. So I was like, yeah, this is not such a big deal, like you have what you have. But I guess with the advent of Sky makes it so fucking clear because she's so strong in Cow, is that I used my team. I just went in with the team I had. I didn't want to try to do something like get a bunch of NVA EX3s just to get the cap up. I had EX11 only. That's fairly low. That's a 210% bonus. And I completely capped the stage, like way more than I needed to. Like I did sick amounts of damage to the stage on 99 with modifiers for 210%. And like my ranking is like 1,500, which is like...
That's good.
Okay. I mean, yeah, but it's not like what I would have thought, right? Like,
but like, it's exactly
because they make it slightly easier, right? Because instead of EX,
they did. But my entire point is I did so much more damage than I needed to. So if like I could magically just get more EX points, like without my units getting more stats, I would get a better ranking. That's the point, and that I really felt this time around.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I mean, it's like I felt like a bit of a similar reinforcement because like I was actually going for the rank 1 and eventually got it, but like since last cow I've pulled both Louise and Ling, but they're stuck at EX1, so they are effectively unusable here, despite like they would be really good.
Yeah,
but they're just
I feel like it creates a weird situation where
EX level.
You need higher EX levels to unlock more difficulty modifiers and make the fight harder, But to get those EX levels, you're usually using worse units, which also makes the fight harder. So you're fighting a harder boss and running a worse team, and it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, or you put it the other way around. You're making the fight harder, but like you're also putting in the stronger units if you have the EX3s of the correct units, right?
Yeah.
But one thing I am more bothered by is the fact that something that connected to what you said, Dream. So you said you pull Louise and Ling, right? I did the same thing. I pulled Louise and Ling, and it fucking sucks that you've pulled these units that were specifically made for Cow, right? And Gumi wants you to pull for them specifically for Cow, right? But their system in place stops me from using them in Cow. Or well,
and
not
I think
specifically me because I didn't care.
That's probably an inherent issue with Cow,
exactly.
but also a thing where frags is such a rare commodity right now. Like for us,
Sure.
if
Shard
Dungeon was like what JP was like a daily Shard Dungeon, this wouldn't be much of an issue, I imagine, because people would just like farm
Well, that's
the shit
true.
out of it.
Because like
Yeah,
no,
it would
but it
still take,
would
like,
help
2
in the
months,
scenarios
though,
where you
but-
just lack a couple or a few, right? Because like my Louise,
Yeah.
for instance, she lacks 20, right? So if I had started farming Louise when I got her, I would have EX2 now, and I would actually be able to go up higher in mods. Same for many of my units, actually. So I think that like it being daily does make a big difference because I am currently feeling that I'm being jerked around by Gumi because they're fucking saving. So they didn't put the Shard Dungeon out while we had Tifa and Sephiroth, obviously for having people to pull for more EX copies. And now they didn't put it out because they want people to be pulling for more EX copies for Cow. So I am just gonna boldly guess we're getting Shard Dungeon as soon as Cow is over. And that to me feels like I'm being cheated.
I feel like it'll be as soon as.
Please
How
don't.
long have
Don't.
been since the last run at this point?
It's about
'Cause
2.5 months.
I think basically like there was like a a thing of the dates on the blog, and basically like I think it was 16th of September is 3 months from when the last one ended, so
Okay.
that's like the absolute max, and that's also probably like either like the 2nd or the 9th is probably when next Cow starts, so it's very likely that we will not get it's kind of likely that
Or
we won't get
during
a full
Cow.
Shard
Yeah,
Dungeon
okay.
before
Wow. Oh my
next
god,
Cow
that
ends.
sucks so much.
In
But
hindsight,
yeah.
I feel like there
So
should have
that's pretty
been
annoying.
more worrying about when they said every 2 to 3 months, because
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. So
I mean, we've
and here's the thing. I also would just prefer the daily one because it would give me a bigger sense of progression rather than just waiting for this
What about-
magical event.
I
What
do think
about
that the
this-
daily one would get annoying, because let's be honest, everyone here would forget it at some point and then feel really bad.
Okay,
Yeah,
but fine. I mean, do it weekly then.
I mean, honestly, if you miss a day of the current one,
Yeah,
the
but
2-week one,
it's
that
easier
feels
to remember
absolutely
to just like
terrible
set
because you
reminders
plan around
for
getting that like
a couple
70.
weeks and stay on top of it than it is to do it 365 days a year.
Yeah, but it could be a weekly quest that gives you 5 shards per unit that you bring that resets once a week. That could be like a very simple way of solving this problem. You'd still get the progression. You'd still be able to get shards whenever.
I think a rotating VIP shop could also work. Like make the VIP shop so that there's a rotating list of fragments every 2 weeks or some shit.
That
And
that might run them into issues with limited units and putting the shards on sale. I don't know what like their deals with partners look like.
Yeah, it's,
I don't know. I think that's at least better.
I'm
And
not
the
sure I
other thing I
like
want to bring
that.
up is the daily. You know how we did the whole friend points thing for the last 2 weeks, and it just like
Jesus, don't
it was kind
remind
of
me.
bad. It was kind of
Oh
fucking
god,
terrible.
that was a joke.
What if that was permanent?
I would be happy if it was permanent, because then I wouldn't have 99 lit up on my
That
friends
yeah.
thing, like all the time.
Yeah,
Honestly, like
because
even
it's
if
still
it was
fucking
permanent,
random.
it
Like,
wouldn't
come
be
on.
that good.
I do think there's a reason why they shouldn't do that, though. And the reason is, if it was permanent, then everyone would feel like they would want to run a TM macro to get as many friend points as possible.
Oh my god!
Because otherwise you don't earn enough friend points to do that every day.
Yeah. No. Everything
Yeah,
about
let's
this
not go
smells
back
so
to
fucking
those
bad.
days.
Let's just abandon this idea ASAP.
There has to be a way to get like done a good amount of frags that would make Gumi feel safe about doing it, but I don't know what that is.
Of course there is. It's just that we're not going to get it. So I'm sorry. But yeah, did you have anything more, Dream, about the
Yeah.
cow you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I just go into a bit more of like what I use. So like I got Sky, which is sort of why I wanted to try, because I feel
When
like
you
this
said
is
you
kind
felt
of
like
my
the
one
sky was the limit.
opportunity to actually
Yeah.
cap a cow.
Holy fucking shit.
Something like that. Yeah. But yeah, and then like the rest of my team, I obviously took some inspirations from Sinzar's Skyclear, used like Lightning for Gun in Peril, Alina's an obvious lock-in, and then I used Shadow for the double Mirage, and Ignis did a lot of work with his support abilities, especially because that AoE ailment buff is it was important for this cow, but it's also just a great morale builder, to be honest. And then one other morale builder that was like quite an interesting trick I thought that I'd share, that also like the double Mirage was handy for, is the World Destroyer materia that does like an AoE 35% break? It turns out if you like use basically the same as the Dispelga trick to like retarget your own team with that, it because breaking the enemy builds morale, but if you retarget it to your own team and like don't have break immunity buffs up, that actually counts
that
as
should
if
give
you
pretty much
6 enemies. And gives you a bunch of morale.
What a nice discovery.
So I'd like to point out that Dream is going to be banned next week for exploiting the game.
Yeah, 100%. No, but that was actually really, really creative. And one thing I just...
Damn.
But just to like keep, I was pretty upset when Sky was released, because I felt like this power creep is getting fucking out of hand now. But it's interesting how this cements it in the way that there is a budget rank 1 clear of the cow as long as you have Sky on EX1. And
EX,
well, I mean, for the like budget one with EX1 Sky, you kind of also need stuff like Zidane's STMR to buffer up. So because I didn't have that, I had to have a second finisher supporting, and like in the end I went and got EX2 Sky.
Yeah. No, but still, like, she's very strong. That's basically the point I was trying to make. Like, she's incredibly strong for DV or the cow. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm hoping she'll actually stay strong and they don't like massively creep cow boss HP and morale mods every cow. Because
was she?
Sky's a lot stronger than Louise, but like Louise also has support stuff.
Yeah, but like Sky hits hard.
But like the bulk plus mod boost increase is still there. But I'm hoping that because Sky is pure damage, that we won't see another huge jump. Because otherwise, all non-morale mods will become unusable.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope not. I hope that Sky was a one-off and that she's just going to be really good. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, Ling and Louise, if you have them, they are going to be in each... Like, if you have significantly high EX levels of them, they're going to be in every cow clear just because... Well, Ling, of course, because...
Ling probably will be. I'm not so sure about Louise, honestly. Like, if fire is the element, absolutely she'll be in there, at least until we get other units that can do, like, her fields and stuff. But aside from that, Louise doesn't actually do that much.
Yeah, I don't know. She still has really high mods on her Chaos Wave Awakens ability, and it's so easy to chain with CWA.
Yeah,
so...
but when you look at boss resists, like, this boss is somewhat weak to fire, not as weak as it is to wind. And wind units still deal, like, 2 or 3 times as much damage as fire units, all other things being equal. If the boss has no weakness to fire and is like resistant to it, like this boss is to I forget which element it is. Water, I think, is one of them.
Water,
like at that point, I don't think you see Louise at all.
I get what Barrow's...
Well, the thing is, Louise, you can, if you don't equip her TMRs.
Yeah, and I mean she has a
90%
break as well, so like there's that. So.
She is elementally flexible.
She like kind of she's a good unit.
What Barrow's is trying to say though in the context, because like Louise and Ling both have that sort of like longevity within cow, also because of their morale abilities. Like Ling's morale abilities are kind of crazy in the sense that the efficiency that you can get the morale bar past it, kind of, yeah. So. And here's the other thing that I kind of wanted to mention, but I wasn't at the podcast last week because reasons. The interesting thing about cow is that in the way that it's structured, we always know that it doesn't set precedent, but so far it's been every cow there's a new Glex banner. And these Glex banners usually are a better deal than any of the other JP banners we've gotten, right? Like the Sephiroth Tifa is obviously terrible deals. And from what I understand, the FF10 banners are also premium units, but they're also the next level of power creep. What this means is that most people can safely save just for the Glex banners, pull on those, and they can use that both for DV and Cal, and mostly get all the rewards. And I find that to be a
that's
really
a guess still.
interesting way. It is, but the issue, it's still a safe guess because we know that Tifa and Sephiroth, until we get the FF10 units, are the most, like, the pinnacle power until then.
Sure.
Which is another few months.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying that, like, for most people that are casual or don't want to, like, pull on every single banner, they can just pull on the cow banners and they're probably just fine.
I mean, for me, I'm more
exactly. I think that's the biggest takeaway, honestly. Like, any unit that can be elementally. We're actually seeing that in JP right now, where JP just dropped a Xenogears collab, which had me like hard for a day. But the main unit there.
You should see a doctor about that.
No. It's perfectly natural.
Shadow, what are you doing?
But Graf is elementally flexible, and that makes him so strong. And I think. Yeah, that too. No, but my point, I fully agree with Dream though. Like, what you should be doing is shopping for units with high mods that are also elementally flexible, because that seems to be incredibly important. Get one of those units and get them to EX3. So for instance, Sky, get her to EX3 and you're going to have a really solid unit for quite a while.
Yeah, and we basically stretched out all the content that we can in an hour. Wow, we did a good job, guys.
Yeah, we did it really well. Yeah, 1 full hour. Jesus, it was a long time since we had this long of an episode.